flannels and shorts, and surf and scuba and sand and sailing and soccer. San Diego, California.
Season's greetings and welcome to Two Balls and a Mic, episode 225, 225th episode in a row covering soccer in San Diego. San Diego Football is the name of the game. That is the website. You can find all of our content. All of Abraham Peta, who will be joining us for some San Diego Wave discussion in a bit here because Carusa and friends couldn't beat Bay City, down by the bay where the watermelon grows. Also L's for San Diego Wave, a wave that can't get a win away from Snapdragon. We're going to get into all of that. We're also going to go ahead and get into the Call of the Sirens. We welcome in a member of the Sirens supporter group of San Diego Wave. Talk some Angel City, some away games. Is there a curse? We heard about this curse, actually. Away game curse.
Yeah.
We might get into that a little bit later. We're also going to go ahead and welcome everybody who is joining us here on YouTube, Instagram, and everywhere else. We have our caller live in the Pop and Fresh and in the Cyber Flesh. We're going to go ahead and talk about the big news in San Diego as well. San Diego FC, Xolos de Tijuana, o de Caliente, join forces for the first step of many. We're going to hear from a couple Toms, actually. Tom Bogert when it comes to SDFC, and then Tom Penn with some exclusive audio, some little snippets that came out during some of the other questionnaires during the media scrum, because yes, this was at SDFC's global headquarters. When with that partnership, we're going to talk with el powerful Francisco Velasco, TikTokero extraordinario, and member of the EBT, part of the, if not the powerhouse of EBT writing. Great guy. We're going to welcome him.
Here they're looking for a new writer too.
100%. Hello, Jeremy. So Jeremy, one of the individuals that I came across at the SDFC announcement. We're going to get into that. We're going to get into all of that. But of course, how are you? A lot of people have been asking for you and about you and making sure that you're okay. Literally just want to check in.
I'm doing all right. You know, it's getting better each day, I think. I mean, I'm just happy I'm alive again. And I mean, I couldn't make it to the SDFC Xolos press conference.
That would have been cool.
I know. I wish I could have made it, but getting better each day. So yeah, thank you and everyone for sending comments, sending messages. I appreciate it.
Better every day. Christina Birkenroad.
Yeah,
sure.
There you go.
All right. We will get to everything San Diego FC and Xolos Quintas. People were asking, like, why is it only at Snapdragon Stadium? Why is there games not in Tijuana? What's going to happen? Well, there are other announcements.
Mm-hmm.
This all happened in a Las Vegas meeting. But again, we'll get into all of that and more on the later part of the show after Call of the Sirens. Thank you again for everybody who's coming in. Everybody say, love you, Chiba. Oh,
love you, Eric.
I subbed you in at for Steve Chiba. Yeah, no, I mean, Jeremy and I had a lengthy conversation, and we'll head into San Diego Wave and we'll welcome Abraham Cepeda on. Just like discussions, the general just conversations that I have with people, and that's what I like about this. Earlier, what was it that you were like? Oh, that's what you like. Oh, I left it in the car. Oh, the little reserved.
Yeah, no, that's little trophies,
little
like this
media credentials. Like I take pride in those.
Like
that. That was gifted.
It's why Tony.
You pointed, and nobody saw what this was. Watch this. Point it again. Now we're there.
No, that's fine. I think.
Yeah, no. Well, not where we were. Any case, it's these conversations that I really enjoy. Just in general, it can be people within the clubs, on the soccer side of things, on the other side, just people wanting San Diego soccer to grow and San Diego soccer to really explode. I might make it out there to the Great America tournament that's being held, the youth tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Hosted, we had Sierra Engi's father,
Yep.
and
Papa
since
Engie.
in somewhat our boss, as I later found out through some trainings, like just because there's, I mean,
Yeah.
they,
Okay, that makes
the
sense.
people who put the money in the board, are,
Mhm.
they're the ones who make the calls. In any case, some coverage of there. But in general, the only thing right now that is happening active in the professional soccer setting, top tier, top level soccer in San Diego was away, and that was with San Diego Wave versus Bay FC. And with that, we're going to go ahead and welcome the great and powerful writer for San Diego Football. You can catch all of his articles at San Diego Football. Hit that red ribbon on top. You're going to find Abraham Cepeda and everything that he has to write. Number one soccer, just correspondent, individual contributor out there, and there's some good ones out there. We're actually going to talk to another one in Francisco, in Panchito. I wonder if he was ever nicknamed Pancho, because Francisco is a long name. Francisco. Welcome on, Abe.
Thank you guys for having me. Sorry, I'm not in the normal studio. Well, I'm in studio with you guys today, right?
Yeah, you're in here.
This counts.
The San Diego Football Global Studios in ID.
San Diego Football Global Studios, a technicality that is absolutely as true as SDFC's Global Studios.
San Diego
so
Wave
much to talk about
versus Bay FC.
San Diego Wave AFC
on Friday. It's the second time both teams face each other, and gentlemen, it looked promising at first for San Diego Wave. So I mean, if we just get started with just the lineups, right? It had to be some rotation as well. Naomi Girma during the midweek press conference, Casey Stoney said Naomi Girma was going to be available. Sophia Jakobson was going to be back as well. Abby Dalkemper was going to be in the team as well. So starting lineup, we had Caitlin Sheridan on goal, Hannah Ludwigs on the left back position, Kennedy Wesley, and Naomi Girma at the center backs, Westfall at the right back, and then the CDMs were Calaprico and Van Egmond. Maria Sanchez got another start at the left wing, McCasco at the 10. Maya Jones got another start, and then Kira Carusa at the start again. And again, you look at this and you say, okay, this is a pretty solid lineup still, especially with Naomi Girma back on the lineup. The back line should be set. This should be a win for San Diego Wave.
And I think it was a winning first half. You could definitely call it a winning first half. I mean, only one goal, but they were completely dominating Bay FC to start that match. It was moving the ball with ease. They're just completely controlling the game. Like, everything I think you could say went to plan for San Diego except for not scoring enough goals, because they had multiple chances that they probably could have finished there. But other than that, like, they were dominating that match.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, yeah, you still don't have Alex Morgan. Yeah, you don't have Jaden Shaw in this game, but still with the players that you have, I mean, we're going to see one of the plays here, and just, I mean, they had shots, and it's just, I don't know what's missing, Abe. I don't know what is it about San Diego Wave, and it's in that offense, 15 shots, 3 on target. It's just, it's not being clinical. It's missing easy chances. And, in soccer, when you don't finish the easy ones, those are the ones you end up regretting. And I think San Diego Wave, it's a team that's just constantly missing, which is unfortunately what's probably going to keep them from playoffs, from making a championship run if they don't fix it at some point.
Yeah, I think playoffs is a stretch. The Shield is definitely in question right now, but playoffs, there's 8 out of the 14 teams will make the playoffs. So I think San Diego have a pretty good chance to make the playoffs. But yeah, you really got to make those goals. I mean, not having a goal in the run of play for this long is just. I know Tony was harping on that at the last press conference with Casey Stoney, and I kind of brought it back up again because I mean they only got that goal off of the corner kick with Kira Cruza, and you need to be start scoring with just in the run of play. Like, is that maybe Alex Morgan coming back changes things? But even then, I don't know how much you can rely on Alex Morgan at this point.
I agree with you. Playoffs they should be making them, but the fact that we're still kind of, I'm questioning it. I mean, 11 points. Seattle is 4 points away in second to last. Like, it's the NWSO is always very close. We all know this. And I mean, right now you're 13 points behind first place. 13 points is nowhere near like close either. That's a good 5 winning games and like in a row, and you're able to get there. But the way Wave is playing, the Wave is going, I don't see them winning 5 games in a row.
And here's the thing: like I think we've been critical of Alex Morgan, and with good reason. With her not necessarily performing in the last couple seasons. I still consider Penn Alex a weird season. She contributed, but this is definitely something that can be happening where the contributions from Alex Morgan are, or the lack thereof, just because she's injured, are visible. So does that mean that when Alex comes back, this team's going to just get supercharged immediately? You still have players who are coming back from injury, right? Some players have been, I guess that I don't know, utility players have been really stepping up in a lot of ways. But
yeah, I mean, with fairness, that utility player Mackenzie Doniak was out for this game, and she has been massive for this team thus far. And like, you could really see where she was missing this game. Like, she probably would have put away some of those chances that maybe a Maya Jones might not have.
And we haven't really seen, that's the thing, we haven't seen the best of San Diego Wave, because we just haven't seen San Diego Wave with
will
everybody.
we get a chance to see the best?
Well,
I mean, that's
the thing. If everybody's good, potentially on paper, the best San Diego Wave side is going to have Alex Morgan healthy. It's going to have a healthy Jaden Shaw, who is still carrying some fatigue from international play, and more international games are going to be coming up. But they haven't played with Maria Sanchez. Like, Maria Sanchez hasn't had the chance to really be on the field with the best as a sub or however. So that's just something to keep in mind, and I'd be interested. I know there's a media availability with Germa, and who has media availability this week?
I think it's Germa.
It's Germa and Tony. So I think that'd be a good kind of angle and question to take, as far as like, hey, like, not necessarily like the over reliance on a player, because that's not what you want to say, but how much of the struggles are there that you haven't had your best team out there, something that you've prepared over the season? Sure, Maria Sanchez is a super asset that gets thrown in there, but she's been part of a broken team where they've managed to really pull through with moments of good play. The game where they dominated here at home, where we thought, okay, the consistency factor is coming up. That was a good overall game, but I don't think they played a good team in Utah at all. So I think, who was it? I heard, yes, we got that stat right, that they haven't won. Wave have not beat a
all their wins are bottom 4 teams.
All their wins are bottom 4 teams in the league,
and it's just 3 wins. I mean, one was against Bay FC when they were at the bottom 4. The other one was against who was it? Against Seattle Reign, when Seattle Reign kind of had a super slow start.
Yeah.
And then they also beat Utah, who is dead last right now. So I mean, yeah, all their teams right now, all their 3 wins are bottom 4 teams, and it's going to be difficult when they face another Orlando Pride, another Casey Current.
And this is exactly it too. Soccer is like, I find it hard to believe that everybody's going to come back from the Olympics with everyone good. So that's also going to take a toll. We had scheduled an interview next week on Tuesday, the Monday after Memorial Day, with Maria Sanchez, but it kind of
on international break.
She's going to be on international break. So again, just kind of to give you a timeline of the idea of the timelines that are,
these players aren't getting breaks. That's the thing. I mean, at least San Diego Wave stars, they're not getting any breaks. They're playing a lot of minutes with San Diego Wave, then they're going with the national team, and that's a good thing, because that just tells you have the best of the best. But at the end of the day, it hurts the team.
What do you think about this, Paul Naku, bestie?
I mentioned this kind of at the start before the season started, about just getting into the playoffs. Do community shields, do playoffs matter? Like, at this point, all you need to do is get into the playoffs, get hot, and you can win it all. Like, Gotham at that time, like, barely managed to get into the playoffs. They needed a result from someone else losing to even get in at all. And, like, it was so close at the end, and they ended up just storming through the playoffs with complete strength. And, if you end up getting hot at that right time and you're an 8th seed, or even just like barely in it, you can still win the championship. Like, I know Casey Stoney really values the the Shield, but at this point, I mean, with how Casey Curran is playing, I think they're like unreal right now. So you just
Yeah.
gotta hope to get in.
You've done the Shield thing. You know what that feels like. You know what that success is, and I think it was definitely overshadowed by Gotham's win. Like you win the league, right?
Yeah.
Fair or not, the structure or whatever about it, but you didn't win the league, and that's something that is your goal coming into the season. The club obviously believes in this because they invested in Maria Sanchez. They've gone heavy, and look, we mentioned it a couple weeks ago, but they're not done. San Diego Wave doesn't seem to be done with big signings this year. I know there's talk of some international, pretty big name coming over still. Left to be seen. This is, this would be interesting, right? Because then they're not a team that can rely on their offense. That's the thing too. Like this goal, like you can get to the playoffs. You can be as good as you want to be on the offensive side and let some of these things happen. But just the time, the space, and this is a good goal.
Yeah,
Like, this
and
is a good goal.
it also goes with Westphal slipping. Like
Yeah.
Westphal slipped, and that kind of cost the large amount of space there. I think she doesn't slip; she manages to kind of close in the angle a little bit. I mean, leave it to the San Diego girl to just score on San Diego Wave again. She did it with Angel City. She did it with Bay FC. But yeah, this little slip up right here, like you need to get up faster than that too.
Well, she came out with injury, so that's a little bit. I don't know if I would say that about Krista Westphal, but I mean that's another issue. Now you have one of your fullbacks out with injury, like she might not play in this next match, and it's just Kiki Pickett also for that match was unreal. She was really good for BFC. Like they said on the broadcast that she was like barely kind of auditioning for minutes in like the past two matches, and she's kind of just with her performance kind of solidified her role with BFC. But I mean, to let a player in the midfield like that take over the game is an issue that the Wave could probably have avoided.
Yeah, and granted, the slip from Westphal led to an injury, but just looking at things, the amount of space here in order for this pass to happen, there's 4 players around.
Sure.
Again, it's easier for us to kind of just sit on our ass and just look at this game frame by frame. But I mean, even Casey mentioned it after. They just have to be better in these moments as well. And like once again, that's not a good image.
I don't know what Van Ekman is doing either. Like, I mean,
here we go.
Like, I mean, passes by her. She's kind of like, I mean, at this point right there, you gotta be sprinting back. Even if you're tired, you're a professional athlete. At this point, you can't jog. You have to be sprinting back. You have to try to get in that pass as well and cut it off. And she just doesn't do that. She's just staring at the ball at this point. So I think overall, it's just not been the best in the defensive side for Van Ekman. So, I mean, I'm gonna stay critical. I think Van Ekman has been the worst player in the San Diego Wave side this season.
Thanks.
Wow.
I mean,
I don't know if I could disagree. Like,
I mean, somebody has to be not the best, and if not,
Yeah,
worse.
100%,
So,
100%.
I mean, if that's what you're
Like,
we're
if we're
going
gonna
at,
if we're gonna talk
played
about
significant
players,
minutes,
if we're gonna talk about players who have been the best and who are in form, we always praise Mackenzie Doniak for being that player this season. We also got to criticize the player that has not stepped up to the plate, and that is Van Ekman this season. Colaprico alone can't do it on that midfield. Like, she needs that other midfield, and it would be great for San Diego Wave to bring in another midfielder. I think that's something that they need. Yes, they need to get better on the attacking, and they need to score goals. Yes, Alex Morgan can come back, and I think once you have Jaden Shaw and you start playing her at that 10 role or even that 9 position as well, like, I think the goals will come eventually. But you need someone in that midfield along Colaprico, because it's not happening right now. Kimi Asensio cannot be your answer. She can only play 45 minutes.
Yeah. Look, yes, Van Ekman did score 100% in that and help in that victory against Seattle. However, I would on a dime switch that one goal for the production that she's supposed to be doing in her position.
100%.
Without a goal.
One goal for one win of the season does not define your whole season. I'm not going to praise you for winning one game. And it's a long season.
It's a form thing, right? Like, she can find it later. She can maybe get that help. It looks like she works in a capacity where you have somebody next to her that can also play in her style and way. I think Danny's floating and trying to find her way and her space in that midfield where she can't really worry about what Van Egmon's doing. I think Van Egmon by default is the leader as well. I mean, look, put McCaskill there. She's not scoring for you. She's still got that just
I think McCaskill
pitbull dog
lowering down a little
mentality.
bit,
Like
yeah.
that's
I
something
like
that you need to go ahead and do and bring that intensity to that midfield. Still have a speedy option with Colaprico, and then you put Jaden Shaw to go ahead and do whatever the hell Jaden Shaw wants to do
Jaden
in
Shaw
front of him.
given that freedom is a lot better than McCaskill for sure. I think if you drop McCaskill down a little bit, she'll still give you that production. Again, she's not scoring goals, and Jaden Shaw will score goals. So I think Jaden Shaw playing at the 10 should be what you need to move forward with, especially once Alex Morgan comes back. You can keep Carusa. Carusa scoring goals. She's getting there. He's getting, I think, better as she's getting more minutes. She's getting used to the flow of things. But you got to fix up that midfield. Like, that's the big issue. I mean, this goal alone, this second goal late into the game, stuff like this shouldn't be happening. And there's a lot of players to blame in this goal.
I think the main people to blame for this goal is the center back. Abby Dahlkemper had a very poor clearance, and then Bay just got the ball way too easily. And even Anna Lundqvist maybe could have cleared it right there before getting that pressure from behind. But, I mean, yeah, you cannot have clearances like that when you're that close to the box, especially in the 87th minute.
I also want to put blame on Kennedy Wesley on this one. Because if you wind back a little bit, Tony, or the replay right here, like, yeah, you have the play there. You already gave it away. That's fine. But Kennedy Wesley just caught a little flat-footed, and she kind of just she should have attacked this ball. I don't know why she just let it go through. I don't know why she just got beat. And I think that's the experience.
Great vision, though.
And I think that's just an experience thing too as well. She's a rookie. She's still getting used to the league, and she's going to be making mistakes. She's not going to be a perfect center back. But I think she's also part of the blame for this goal. I think Caitlin Sheridan kind of came out. She was forced. She felt forced to have to come out. And I think at first glance, I kind of said, oh, Caitlin Sheridan, another mistake. But looking back at this, I think she felt forced to have to come out and try to make that tackle. And, I mean, se la llevaron.
Even in this frame, that still should never be a goal. Like,
I mean,
unless it's an unreal pass and then an unreal shot from a weird angle, like this right now should not be a pass because your defenders are doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing. They're following through on the play. They're covering your back because the goalkeeper's already out of position. She had to be taken into that position in that situation because in front they couldn't take care of it. So now you got to make up for it, and they just betray.
I don't know what
betray
Honolulu was thinking here either. Like, clear it out with your left in the first one. I don't know if she saw the player on her. That was just poor defending.
Let's check. Does she know? Is she looking?
I mean, she saw her there. She looked back and she saw her. Like, she's right there. You have your arm out. She's coming in. I don't know if she thought she was stronger. She'd be able to hold her off.
Maybe that she was going to let the ball pass and try to clear it with her right and turn. I don't know. Regardless, that's just not a good look. 87th minute or not, could
you make the argument that it kind of looked like a foul too from the attacker? But
I would say ball first.
Yeah, I think so too. But I mean, it was given the
Sheridan gets taken. It happens. Nothing for Dahlkemper.
No, she's just watching.
She's just watching. She's trying to cover her line. She doesn't know where she's at, and ball first. Ball first. I think it's ball first.
Ball first, Abe.
Yeah, it's ball first. When you're in that area, anything can happen. Like, especially if it's not the goalkeeper. Like, if the forward is doing to the goalkeeper, it's a different thing. But like a defender like that, yeah, you can basically do anything to try and score, in my opinion.
In soccer, when you're learning to play, the fundamentals of it is you never wait for the ball. They pass you the ball, you attack the ball. You don't wait for it to get to you. It's the same thing when you're defending. You got to attack the ball and clear it out. That's a defender's number one job in that box. I mean, as a goalkeeper, Tony, you tell your players, sácala. Like,
yeah, I mean, just get rid of it. Yeah, like,
and
that's the safe thing to do. Don't play it in there,
especially
in the last box.
Minutes of the game.
It was just I don't want to say just, but like it's a mental error that costs an away team.
But yeah,
Yeah, I think that Casey Stoney also kind of talked about it too. Like she's basically echoed everything that we've said. That like that was a very bad performance. Like the team needs to be a lot better in the second half. It overall finishing chances, like you can't have a defense like that and expect to win. So I think like just I think we're all being fair here. Like Casey Stoney's also admitted it too. Like that this team
Let's
needs
hear
to be
from
better.
Coach Casey Stoney here.
Do you guys have it or?
Good areas.
Here we
First
go.
off, I don't think
Can you hear? Hello? Is Casey coming through?
Yeah, now it's coming through. Now it's coming through.
All right, sounds good.
we've been in those areas many times as we were tonight, but execution across, quality and decision making in the final third, shooting when we don't need to, when we can play round, like just not having that final finish. And we should have been probably 2-0 up at half time in terms of where we're at, but we just can't score. We just need to keep working on the training ground and making sure that we're getting in the right areas. I thought we got in the right areas, especially in the first half. But we've got to make sure we've got people running. We've got to make sure we've got numbers in the box, and we've got to make the right decision on the cross. Hanging it up at the back post, am I cutting it back, and then who's free? And I just didn't think we got that right tonight.
And Kira Cruz during the halftime on the broadcast mentioned that the team had something to prove in away matches, and the team's been winless through away matches this season. What does the team need to do to start changing those results?
We've got to start changing our mentality. We've got to find a way to win. They scored one goal and we went to pieces. We can't afford to do that. We've got to make good decisions when the play's against us. We've got to be more compact, make good, sensible choices so we can get rhythm back into our game. And I didn't think we did that. So we've got to do the little bits that make a difference a lot better. And we've got to score goals. Ultimately, you don't score goals, you can't win games.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Abe. What did you think after hearing this from?
I mean, that's
Coach
what you
Stone?
got to say. I think it's a lot of coach speak, but yeah, it's completely right. Away matches are not good, and you have that kind of mentality where they score a goal and you can't really come back from that. Then you're just gonna be losing a lot of games probably, especially when you're like away. The home team's gonna rally their squad up and just try and get that late goal. I mean, we see that all the time in the NWSL with late goals and stuff. I think there was a goal in like the eighth minute of stoppage time or like 12th minute of stoppage time for Kansas City the other day or against Kansas City the other day, and it's just like anything could happen. You gotta want to make those goals, and
You gotta want it.
you gotta.
You
I mean,
want more.
I think they do want it. Like I don't want to question that. Like they definitely want it, but they need to actually do it.
Look, I really do think that the home feel of San Diego Wave is just different, and a lot in part to the efforts that the Sirens do, the crowd, and everything that just happens at the Cove, and the players have said it. Casey said it. Like it's palpable. Like it definitely has plays a difference. But guess what? This season, you're not playing potential championship match / semifinal at home, so you're gonna have to get it done on the road. As this season kind of transpires, like it doesn't look like you'll have home field advantage if this is the way that things continue. Relatively speaking, it's early. There's no need for red flags right now, but it's a matter of let's get some points out of road matches. I think that's a start, points, and you can start this upcoming Thursday. Thursday, right?
618 Soccer is saying
Thursday.
a good kind of like fun note here. 6 of the remaining 9 road games are against teams currently above them.
I mean, that's a challenge.
That's a challenge. That's something kind of like Cruz said, that they have something to prove on their away roads. But it starts this Thursday against Angel City. Abe, you're going to be there at BMO. I'm pretty sure a lot of Sirens are probably going to make the road trip up as well to LA to watch this game against Angel City. I mean, Angel City is sitting 1 point below San Diego Wave. They haven't had the hot start either. So on paper, this is a winnable game, right, Abe?
On paper, it is, but I mean, it's a derby. Anything can happen. I think the overall record is 3-3-2, so it's like dead even there,
Mhm.
so you really don't have like a lot of history to judge it on. And I mean, you never know. That Angel City had like a weird match against Washington. They were kind of complaining about the field conditions, which is like understandable, but like you kind of, I don't know if this is a must win game, but a win in your derby match at away would be a huge win.
I
Yeah.
think this is a must win.
Yeah, I mean, it can be a definite
You haven't won on the road.
point to turn your season around on the road. At least
Yeah.
that needs to happen at some point. Just for those that are listening, and I do appreciate everybody who's watching live on 3 platforms or one of the 3 platforms. When people are on Instagram, it's a little bit more accessible. The integration through our program isn't necessarily the top tier, the best. Well, the program, not ours, but we really can't see the Instagram comments. So just go back. SD Wave FC, tough loss for sure. Good to see Germa and Jakobsen back in action. Absolutely true. Plus, tougher games ahead against Thorns, KC, and Orlando. Yeah, it's not going to be the easy way the rest of the season for San Diego Wave. But again, diamonds cut diamonds, that old kind of thing. Like if this is going to be a season that they're going to go ahead and put some grit on it, have to put some elbow grease to have it be different. They've had a couple of different looking seasons throughout their playoff appearances,
Mhm.
which is impressive enough from a expansion standpoint.
Yeah.
But maybe try something new, and this is something new. This is going to be a grittier team that's hopefully can get it together. And if that means you got to produce more on the offensive side and defense is what it is, then you got to start producing somewhere. But yeah, overall, we're going to be all watching. We'll find out if there's a watch party here in a
Quick on Jakobsen. She looked really good, and
Mhm.
when she came on, I thought she looked nice. She was just a little bit alone out there, up at the top. Like, if she comes on as like a sub late, while this team is like firing, I think she's gonna turn out really well this season.
Get a little preview here. 2 busloads will be up there too. Angel City, BMO. But yeah, San Diego and Gotham are still 1 game behind, which is true. They're still 1 game in hand because of the Challenge Cup victory for San Diego Wave. And then just on really quick San Diego FC news, San Diego soccer news, Christina Birkenroad. We summoned her. We said earlier, better every day, Christina Birkenroad. And guess what? Christina Birkenroad has scored for Rayadas.
Monterrey versus America Liga MX Femenil final. Who do you guys got?
I mean, first you gotta have Monterrey go through, man. So
yeah,
I mean, come on, it's almost
come on.
I would personally think America would be a little bit fun because they're gonna be here for the NWSL Summer Cup or whatever it's called.
Yes.
Like, so
At
being able to
Torero,
say you're facing the Liga MX champions would be pretty cool.
that is
that would be pretty cool.
very, very good point. Hey, that's going to be at Torero Stadium. Everybody's back at Torero. I miss Torero.
The America game's not at Torero.
No, it's a Snapdragon.
Oh, that one's at Snapdragon. But which one is at Torero?
It's
Bay FC.
Bay FC. Gotcha. All right, cool. Anything else, San Diego Wave for right now? We do have the segment called The Sirens coming up with a new guest.
Get it together, San Diego Wave.
Get it together, San Diego Wave. Abe?
I still think this team's gonna make the playoffs. That's all.
Okay, that's
should
fair
be.
enough. They should be. They should be. I believe that too.
A lot of people in personnel would get fired if they don't make the playoffs, including Casey Stoney.
Nah.
No,
That's crazy.
That's
I mean, I don't know.
Wait, actually, real quick, very interesting. The U20 U.S. Youth National Team roster came out, and Melanie Barcenas and Kimmy Escanio were both off of it, while Giselle Thompson for Angel City was on it. Kind of curious. I think that might be one of those things where Casey Stoney didn't have them called up, or because they're. I mean, at least Escanio has been super important to this team, and like. It's weird because like she could be playing for the U.S. Youth National Team, but also like you want to get professional minutes, like.
And it's happened too. It's happened for Jaden Shaw a couple times last year, where she was told no, you can't go to the national team. It was on the under 20, and she turned out fine. So it's going to be a-okay. But Abe, thank you. We're going to go ahead and be waiting and enjoying. You're going to make me do it here. Figure this out. figure this out. You're in the middle. I'm
There
over
we go.
here.
Oh my God.
I know. It's brings me joy. This is
What, am I in the middle? Or like, what
well.
am
You
I
got to
supposed
cross
do?
your
Yeah,
arms
you gotta
because
cross
now you
your
got to
arms.
complete
Wait, I have
two.
like the microphone. Like,
Oh, I
okay,
like
it's a little
that.
hard.
It's a little
It's
difficult.
literally this show's literally the dumbest thing ever.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you, sir. See you later. Bye bye. All right, that was Abraham Cepeda. He'll be here. Doblete Papa. Christina Birkenroad has scored again. San Diego native Christina Birkenroad.
Well, they're pretty much gonna
Really,
go through.
I'm gonna put this. I'm gonna clip that earlier and be like, hey, we summoned you.
I think if
into
I'm not
power.
mistaken, 6-1 soccer, the winner of this season of this tournament for Liga goes to the CONCACAF Champions League for the women's CONCACAF
Mhm.
Champions League. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, it'd be cool seeing Berkey on there. San Diego
Absolutely.
Waves on there.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and transition into our next segment. It's going to be the Call of the Sirens, where we talk with somebody from the Sirens SG, the supporter group for your San Diego Wave, kind of check in on what they got going. I know there's away game talk and just the general vibe. I want to see what that's going to be like in a midweek going up to LA. Remember, we hitchhiked on a bus to Orange County. Those are fun. Those are fun.
Yeah.
The back of the bus, along with Cesar H. Football,
Yeah.
just absolute reporter lads in the back.
Those good old loyal days.
Those are fun. Things I miss. So hopefully it's going to be just as fun, if not more fun. With that, we're going to go ahead and welcome in our guest today in the segment, the Call of the Sirens. And we welcome on Amy, as there's 4 of us. Let me just thank Carol that. Amy, welcome on. How are you? Please introduce yourself to everybody. Say hi.
Hey guys, I'm doing well. I'm Amy. I'm the front office liaison for the Sirens. Been around since the beginning and just excited to be here and chat with you guys tonight.
I love that.
Welcome.
So you have to deal with the man, the myth, the legend, Weston, if I'm not
I
mistaken.
do.
Put your thing.
Oh,
Put your thing. I
man,
know. Okay, that'll be for later. This is the dumbest show. Like,
yeah, it is.
if people can watch before the cameras go on, they would stop watching there. Amy, welcome on in. It's cool to see people who have been involved with Wave and the Sirens for a while. I know there's a lot of new people coming in, new awesome individuals starting to contribute in leadership. But I mean, are you happy with the progress that the team, have been doing through these last couple of years? What has that experience been like for you?
Yeah, it's been really cool to kind of see the growth, especially transitioning from Torero to Snapdragon and seeing the team expand as well as the supporters group. So, from 20 of us in Torero waving some flags and doing just about everything to hundreds of us in the Cove at Snapdragon has just been incredible.
I mean, I just want to know what's it like working with this guy.
Weston's great. He told us from the start, he was like, I work for you guys. And I was like, you know what? We're going to be friends.
Putting Weston over. This show.
We love Weston.
Everybody loves him. It's they should have a Where's Weston segment where somebody in the audience has to find
Where's
the hair in the big
They
screen.
should.
Anyway, that'll be for production later. That could be brought up in the next time you connect with him. But all right, so these things are coming together. The code's been sounding really great. The integration of the bubbles, the amount of bubbles, like it's just
so many bubbles
it's
now.
so
I think we saw
fun.
people in different spots of the stadium with their own bubble machines now too. So
I don't want to put anybody
you all
in trouble,
started
but like,
something at Snapdragon.
Is that something you guys started? Is that just independent rogue bubblers?
No, we've been working on that. The team gave us permission to have some extra bubble machines floating around, and I think it really adds to the atmosphere. It really gets everybody involved.
It really
does. The bubbles get over to the press box, so we're all like, just bubbles.
I got some details actually from an unnamed long-haired individual of just kind of the not necessarily the budget, but just the equipment of bubble making that is at Snapdragon is pretty intense. So shout out to everybody who's making that a game day experience what it is. You're doing a great job. Everybody at the locals is doing a fantastic job. But away matches are a thing. Have you gone to these watch parties as of recently? Probably not the best outcome, but still a great time. People are coming out.
Yeah, not the best outcome. We would love to see some more away wins, but the vibes are always good when we're together and we ride or die with the team. We're there to support them. Watch parties, away games. We had a big group go up to the Bay this past weekend, and we have an even bigger group going to Angel City on Thursday.
How many people are you guys expecting to just make the trip up to LA? Do you know?
I don't know how many people, but we have a couple buses full going, so pretty decent contingent.
That should be a fun game, and I'm excited to see that one. I just want to know, I mean, when Wave come back, what's something new that we can expect at the Cove? I mean, I know numbers are growing and everything's going great. Is there something new maybe coming along the lines with the next home game coming up?
We're always working on new chants, new cheers. The Discord is full of creative people, so new chants might be coming down the line. We've got drum practices happening and working on just, filling all the time we can with chants and love for the team.
That's awesome. I love hearing that.
It's really a great atmosphere, and I think these away matches need that extra juice from the Sirens, from the supporters, and I guess what's closer than LA for a rivalry match. So you've been with this effort and movement for a while, right? I always refer to the time where Angel City thought they could just bring, the bubbles are cool, but pink balloons. There are some people with absolute phobias of balloons, and I'm not okay with the exclusion of those individuals, but they brought balloons over to their section. They were noisy, they were rowdy. You guys have a relationship with them? Is there a rivalry just with the supporter groups? How is that, or just everybody's kind of a-okay, and then when game starts, it's like, all right, we don't know each other?
We try and be pretty friendly. I think, a big part of the NWSL is growing the support. And so seeing other supporters, we always invite away fans to our tailgates. But as soon as the match starts, we're not friends anymore.
It's that Mamba mentality. Like, no friends, we're not teammates, nothing like that.
Yeah, no, I like that. And you can tell people really enjoy coming into San Diego and experiencing the game day experience as away fans. I did see the other day I saw a rowdy Bay FC. We saw a Bay FC supporter who,
yeah, we did.
Look, the passion is there, and I'm glad San Diego's being represented well. That section is representing the team and the city incredibly well, really setting a precedent and an example for everybody else who's going to follow the Sirens. Because let's not forget, the inaugural team in a soccer-specific venue were the Sirens, and they're the ones that are really putting that foot forward. How can people help? Is there a way just to, other than membership, is there anything that that's coming down the pipeline as far as community? I know that's something that's big with the Sirens.
Yeah, community-wise, we always have things going on. You can check our Sirens calendar on our website, and that lists our community events. If you're on our Discord, you can see any events that we have coming up. Not sure of any specifics that we have, but there's always something floating around in the background. We'll have Pride Raiser going in June. That's kind of our big fundraiser for the year. Very worthy causes there. Just, getting involved. If you have a talent like art or you're a really good songwriter, just getting involved and helping us out is the best way to help us grow.
Absolutely. And become a member. Like, you can definitely join the Siren supporter group. There are tiers, there are goodies, there's really cool scarf and some stickers that go along with membership, but there's a free version. Join the movement. It's a great time. Amy, anything else before we let you go for the night?
Just excited to see what we can do with the rest of this season and hope for some better results down the road.
Absolutely. Amy, thank you for your time. This has been the call of the Sirens as I find the transition and move it here. Thank you, Amy. Have a good night.
Thanks.
Yeah, there's segments. We have segments in the show.
We do have segments.
People People have enjoyed it, had a great time. I really like, again, this space, and we're building this space in order to go ahead and do this as well with the SDFC supporters group coalition. The names that I've heard floated for such a group are there. So it'll be to be seen what happens on that stage. I'd be glad to open this chair up, open the digital chair up for any and all members of the community. We're going to come back today also, once again, just to kind of reset. That was San Diego Waves section. We're going to move into San Diego FC news/discussions. We're going to go ahead and bring Francisco Velasco on in a couple of minutes, writer for the EVT contributor, TikTokero extraordinaire. Some words of Tom Penn, and just in general, just this is the point where San Diego FC is starting to not necessarily make moves, or actually no, the opposite.
Well, I mean,
no moves, because some things were redacted, some things are adjusted, and look, and before we continue here, I just want to make sure that like my position is clear whenever something like this happens, is that if you don't move with new input of information and adjust, then you're just stagnant and you're just not doing what you're supposed to be doing. At least for me, in a curious sense, like I'm just curious. I want to know what things happen. I don't care to tell anybody. I don't care. But like I just like, oh, okay. I like how the sausage is made for some things. But in general, like it's one of those things where the news and everything that's swirling around is based on input that's coming in. I think we've haven't left astray or said anything. It did come through. Tomasito, Tommy B, contributor for The Athletic, that
El Bogart.
Yes, that two things. Well, one thing, because the other one was Fabrizio Romano. Irving and Chucky Lozano, that was double down. That Irving Chucky Lozano is on his way to SDFC via transfer. Well, he's a free agent, but he's coming back over to PSV.
$12 million deal.
Supposedly.
I don't think it's a free transfer. I think
there's
a transfer fee of $12 million.
So then again, this was already reported by him earlier. Great source for news in the MLS setting and arena, but it was said because Jimmy Lozano said it, like, no, I'd rather stay in Europe, if not move back to Liga MX in Pachuca. So then the report that comes back out is like, nope, like he's still on his way to SDFC. Was that an adjustment of pay? Was that an adjustment of mentality for Irving Lozano?
I think it's really going to come down to, I mean, yeah, there are the sources, and it's pretty much set in stone according to Tom. It's going to be $12 million, but part of me still doubts that this is going to go through. I think Chucky Lozano, in his own interest, he wants to be able to still represent Mexico. And I think it was a huge, kind of like a low blow for him to not be in this Copa America. Still playing in PSV, getting some minutes, winning that league. And I don't know, man. Like, what are your thoughts on all this so far?
I think we're in the middle of it. I think we're in the midst of it. We're going to hear what Tom Penn has to say about this, because people and other correspondents at this event at the San Diego FC global headquarters during this announcement asked, obviously, there was a lot of Mexican media, a lot of questions for, it was very interesting, because, there was lopsided for Spanish and Xolos. Jorge Hank is there. Obviously, it's easy to just kind of cross the borders. A lot of people here. But just the amount of people that actually asked Tom, and nobody asked anything to Cody Martinez. I was actually, we'll get to it, but like I was sitting there, I'm like, I kind of feel bad for him. And it was just Jorge and Tommy, Señor Tom, having a little chat with the audience and the media. But Chucky Lozano saying still on his way. Again, we shared this a couple of weeks ago from what I was hearing. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's how much more pragmatic do you want it? Yeah. Is there possibly that can be wrong? Yeah,
100%,
but
100%,
like
100%.
and,
Just fall through all the time. I
and
mean, also Carlos Aviña
Carlos Sabiña,
is,
exactly. Like
and this was by Fabricio Romano. So I mean, if
El
you had to
Fabiruchis.
put it on me, I'll trust Fabricio Romano more than Tom.
Here we go.
If you were to just ask me who I trust the most, but yeah, Carlos Aviña is set to stay at Monaco, so not coming to SAC. So deals always end up falling through, no matter how congruent everything is, how set in stone everything is. What? You okay?
The word that you just used was congruent, and it was in a beautifully well laid out and thoughtful way that wow. I am
You proud of me for that
I'm
one?
proud of you for that one. No,
Thanks.
but
Thank you.
yeah, exactly what you're saying. Like the amount of it's happening, it's done, it's everything. Again, you mentioned Fabrizio Romano, right? They get some tips, they get some whiffs of, hey, this might be happening, this might not be happening. We're part of discussions with Guillermo Ochoa possibly coming in. It's coming down that look, that was a move by the agent that just floated that out there.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, he vacations here, but was there ever any truth and heft to that? No. So I think we can kind of just move that, put that one to bed. But in this world, you never really know. It's all smoke and mirrors. For right now,
Hey,
there's
man,
still 3 players.
Zlatan's coming back to MLS. Like,
Just how irresponsible would that be of just
it's
like
super responsible.
who else? Who's coming? Wayne Rooney
I
decides.
mean, Lucas Modric is already not coming to San Diego FC.
Yeah,
That
I mean,
was
and
done.
that's the
He's
thing.
gonna stay at Real Madrid.
You see these rumors again because we were talking
Yep.
about it was Royce who's linked with Charleston, Charlotte.
Charlotte.
Sorry. You had Nacho, cool, incognito, Sergio
Mhm.
Ramos, who supposedly was done. Like it's
Yeah, and
it's
then
so
it
close.
kind of like dying down so far.
And again, some of the language that's being spoken by Tom Penn in a bit here might give an indication that some of these might be happening. The biggest thing that I got in general was that it's more than one person that's going to be a splash, whereas he puts the sizzle in this squad that's coming up for him in 2025 for the MLS. So we'll see exactly what that means. Who else? That was it, right? No, I mean Keylor Navas,
Kevin
another
De
player,
Bruyne.
De Bruyne.
I mean, I still feel like De Bruyne stays another season with Man City, if you ask me. But yeah, I mean, I'm reading some of these comments, and you know,
what's going on? Here?
is Chivas still wearing a Dodger jersey? I mean, I haven't worn one in a while.
That is funny. Where are they in Instagram?
I know, right here, the one below that.
Oh, hope you guys get El Chucky in San Diego. I mean, that'd be really interesting. That'd be really cool. The dynamic is there. We're gonna get in talking to the actual event of this as happening. So, saludos, Ivan. Tony, you look thin, man. You can tell you're on a grind. Keep it up. I think we broke the news last week that I have not eaten
You didn't look thin last week.
solid food. Yeah, it's just a week. No, está bien pegada esta madre, güey, like
but yeah, but I mean, these rumors, they're gonna keep coming up. But again, until you hear the "Here we go" from Fabrizio Romano,
yeah, which is
that-
paid / planted.
yeah, 100%.
Again, if Fabrizio Romano, like in his time zone, is literally just packing in whatever he's packing in to stay awake, and looking at SDFC rumors and saying, figured it out. Duran Ferree is the first signing. Eureka. Hey, is this true? Like, no, like the team comes out and says, hey, Fabi, like, you mind
Hey, Fabi.
getting the Fabiruchis?
$1,000.
Yeah, here's something, and just throw it on there. Because again, that's the machine of world soccer now. And so this is a powerful voice saying that, you know what, Carlos Aviña, sporting director, out the window, not going to happen. What does that mean for the entire project? Because the sporting director is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
From what we were hearing is that once the sporting director was set, was then the next part of getting a coach.
That's one of the guys that brings in players, man. So
brings in players. That was going to be a great relationship. But and this can be definitely true with a partnership such as this SDFC Xolos. does that now mean like, well, you know what, Carlos Javiña had his connections with America? Will America be partners with SDFC? Like, well, no, they're partnering with Xolos. I don't know if any of that is actually true, but these can be discussions and just kind of things that can happen. I know people were asking like, oh, well, Xolos is good, but like, when are they going to play against America, Chivas, and all these teams? Like, this is a first step, and I think that's something to keep in mind. The relationship between SDFC and Xolos right now, this announcement that happened is a first step into something, and I think that was very clear for those who watched / heard, read, watched the interviews, watched what we spoke with Tom, is that this is a first step.
Yeah.
This is a first something. Like, they don't know. They were literally, as A put, like, thing in his article, like, on San Diego Punto Football, like, there's things that happen at a Vegas blackjack table that kind of led to all of this, right? Like, these are high rollers.
It's a crazy story. I mean, I love a good Vegas story, but I mean, who else better to share this kind of with Francisco, right? Francisco's here. We're gonna add him in a bit second. This is kind of like a mixed segment of San Diego FC and Retas SD, just the work that Francisco does on TikTok, bringing in the soccer into the community and everything like that. Just want to talk to Francisco, get his insight. He's always at the Xolos games as well. He's always at the Wave games. He's gonna be at the SDFC games. So without further ado, Francisco, welcome on, Francisco. How are you doing, my friend?
How's it going, guys? Good to be here.
Good, man.
Good,
well,
man.
Welcome in, bro. We see you working hard, doing what you do, doing your thing. See you in la televisión mexicana. That's canijo, vato. So welcome on. Hopefully we'll make this one of the first times that we bring you back in. But all right, we were at the global headquarters for SDFC, and this was the invitation. We did speak about it before last week, about kind of this is going to be some sort of friendly, and that's just the discussions that were going around were exactly that, right? Like, it's going to be because that just makes too much sense. Like, oh, they're going to, be combining academies. Like, no, like the logical first step was going to be some friendly. So real quick, let me, Francisco, what are your thoughts of this? Because you obviously cover Xolos and have a good footing there. When you first see a partnership in your mind, where did your head go to?
Yeah, no, for sure. The friendly. I think it was obvious for everyone in the community, but like, it's a win-win for everybody involved. Absolutely, it's a good first step. I was surprised that there was no games announced in Tijuana, especially for like that first year. But yeah, overall, like Xolos, like, they really came from it. People don't really see that, but like, in a lot of ways, playing those games here against SDFC. But yeah, for me, like, just win-win overall for everybody involved.
So all right, so today's press conference, well, not today's, but Thursday's press conference, announced a 5-year partnership for 5 back-to-back years of friendlies between SDFC and Xolos starting in 2025. As you mentioned, these are going to be held in Snapdragon Stadium. None of them are going to be held in Tijuana, and I think that was something that was kind of going through people's head. This multi-year competition, as per SDFC, it's the first of its kind. I don't know if that's how true that is. If there's other partnerships, I'm not really very well versed in, the border towns of different countries across the world and their teams, but they're based 25 miles away from each other, and it just makes sense, as you're saying, Francisco, to unify these two entities. But I mean, I think it goes down to money at the end of the day. We were having a discussion, Shiva and I, because and actually at Young the Ryan, this is about, like, because that was the same question. Why not in Tijuana? It'd be really cool to see the team here grow over there. At the end of the day, this was brought on by Xolos. Xolos had this idea. Like, this was a brainchild of Jorge Hank, not Jorge. Hijo Hank Jr. And Tom Penn, right? But it was Xolos who extended this arm, and they're going to have it here. And I would think that at the end of the day, on a friendly that doesn't really matter, outside of any sort of tournaments internationally that do matter through CONCACAF, what's going to make the most money? If you go play over there, you're going to get paid and you're going to make pesos. You come over here, you're going to make dollars. That's just simple economics, no? I mean, what do you think, Francisco?
Yeah, for sure. Although in Tijuana, do tax the games. I guess you could say they're one of the most expensive tickets in Liga MX, if not the most expensive. And people, still go regardless. There's a lot of money being made at each Liga MX game in Tijuana for sure, and not just the tickets, just like in a lot of ways. But yeah, I mean, obviously you can't really compare the amount of money that can be made over here in San Diego with like you said, the dollars. I do expect these games to like sell out each one, if not.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like, there should be a lot of hype around it. Not just the first year, but every year. I mean, the whole community is something that I'm sure everybody will enjoy. And as the years go by, yeah, maybe we'll see that rivalry growing, especially because we're gonna see this in Leagues Cup anyway, like for sure as well. So yeah, pretty interesting.
I mean, I feel and I understand where people are coming from. Like, man, it would have been sick if we could see SDFC play in the Estadio Caliente, right? I mean, there's nothing like a Liga MX game atmosphere where you go to Estadio Caliente, te compras la carne de venado seca, de los señores, los churritos, the papitas with chamoy and limón, the 2 cans of beer in 1 cup. And I mean, there's nothing like that here in America, I feel. But I also understand all the games happening at Snapdragon. I think a large portion of the fans that are going to be supporting SDFC that also support Xolos, a handful of those fans unfortunately cannot cross to TJ and watch Xolos play. It's that's just the reality that we live in here in the United States. There's a lot of people that no tienen papel y no pueden cruzar. They just can't cross to TJ. And the chance that they would get to see both their teams, SDFC and Xolos, play each other, like you have to have it here at Snapdragon, keeping those people in mind. And I think that's I don't think it was intentional for that in that matter, but I think it's also a nice way of thinking about it. I mean, yeah, it would have been sick going to TJ covering SDFC over there, and it could happen down the line.
Yeah, it will.
But,
it will. For sure, it's gonna happen.
I like that aspect of having them all at Snapdragon at first. I mean, who knows? Maybe after the second year, they say, you know what, we're gonna change it. We're gonna do one in SDFC and one in Xolos. Like it's gonna change. It can change. But I do like the partnership overall. I think it's a gimme. Like you kind of have to have this partnership if you want to win over the fan base here in San Diego that are large, from the majority Xolos fans. Are just Liga MX fans. So, and I think you asked that to Tom Penn too.
Yeah, no, I did, and we'll get to that in a bit. Xolos have only played San Diego Loyal in a friendly here in San Diego,
and it wasn't even Xolos.
Well, and hopefully this is Xolos, right? You would hope that it's not like Los Morros. But then again, if it's a Sub-23, they're still like 5 years older than probably the average of the Right to Dream SDFC side.
Yeah.
But Francisco, like overall, like what do you hope this turns into? Like somebody who covers Liga MX, somebody who covers Xolos very intensely, somebody who's in the community, who's part of both sides of literally everything. Like haces línea just like everybody else. You're a regular human being. You're a celebrity on TikTok. But like, what do you hope this can turn into?
Yeah, like eventually, like obviously there was a lot of talk about the youth academies working together at that event. A lot of people asked that question, and it was repeated actually a lot. But that eventually will lead to definite success for both teams. I mean, or growth for both teams, because right now Xolos for a while has been stuck kind of in a rut, not making the playoffs. Ever since they got rid of the relegation, they kind of haven't been investing as much as before. Now they got an interesting project going, maybe with Osorio there. We'll see what happens with Juan Carlos Osorio. But overall, if Right to Dream's gonna just get a bunch of players, and they already have academies in other countries, that can greatly benefit Xolos. Not every player is gonna make it to SDFC. Like that's a given,
100%.
And Tom Penn has said before that they are willing to work with Xolos on that. He said it at the groundbreaking event over there in by the casino. But like eventually that'll be the best thing for both teams, I think, and for not even for that, for just for the players in general in this area. I mean, that'll be great benefit. Even for players that will eventually join SDFC, get that Liga MX experience. I mean, that's incredible. Like a very competitive league there. And we sometimes we underestimate like just how big like Xolos is because they have a spot in Liga MX, which is like just such a huge league, and such a competitive league that can lead you to other things. But yeah, eventually, yeah. I mean, these are just friendlies, but eventually I hope it leads to more and more players coming out of this area. And not just this area, Denmark, Ghana, Egypt, whatever, like coming over to this area as well.
I mean, who knows? Maybe Xolos taps in on an FC Northland player.
I mean,
You never know.
That'd be interesting. All right, so not to put anyone on the spot, it's going to be called what it's going to be called on a marketing sense. Like they're already working on that. What should this be called? What should this? Because officially, it's already on the press release. It was dubbed and said this is a derby already. They haven't played a match, but it's a derby. But what should this be called? Is there anything that stands out?
English or Spanish?
In English or Spanish? I don't know.
I think like combine both. No, like or
derby,
Border City Clásico.
Border City Clásico.
Border City Clásico. I mean, I like that. Has a nice ring to it. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I mean, I feel like you can't just name. I don't think the name can be given by the clubs. It has to be given by the fans. Like un clásico es un clásico, no? Like Chivas América es el clásico de clásicos. Está el clásico monumental. Está like there's this other clásico regio. Like I think these names are just kind of given by, if not like the fans and the people, like popular los comentaristas como el Perro Bermúdez. How many has he named? So I think it's not up to the clubs to name this. I think it's up to the people, and I mean, I would say media, but I mean, not much soccer media here in San Diego besides us, guys.
Look, David, I see David in the comments. 2025 MLS kickoff idea: LAFC, SDFC, and Angel City and SD Wave at SoFi Stadium. Doubleheader. We have 71,000 at SoFi for Leagues Cup doubleheader. But here's the thing: SD Wave has to work with SDFC, and vice versa. SDFC has to work with, like that. That needs to,
and that
first
hasn't
get
been a thing so far.
100%. You mentioned something that I was going to pounce on. If you let the fans name it, there's no name for El Clásico con Xolos is León Xolos, I would say, right?
It's the biggest rivalry,
right? But
that's the biggest rivalry.
Does that have a name?
It doesn't
title?
have a name.
No, right?
No, they've tried to name it and push it with the players in the press conferences for years, but I mean, there's some sort of rivalry there, but yeah.
No, if you let the Masacre name derby, va a ser el pinche derby. There you go. ¿Cómo se llama? Es el pinche clásico.
Los vamos a matar clásico.
And that's a clean version.
It's called Muletas Clásico Muletas.
El pasaporte. All right, so I mean, very exciting news that's just kind of coming together. That academy is definitely one of the things that is going to be a point of interest. And actually, I have some audio that was picked up from some things Tom Penn were saying.
I like that actually. The Casino Derby.
Ooh.
Oh,
con Siquan.
Oh my God, that's true. I like that.
Oh wow,
that's a good one. Yeah,
that's a pretty dope one. And guess what? Actually. And guess what? The trophy's a giant poker chip.
Oh man,
one side SDFC, one side Xolos.
That is freaking that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Xolos.
SDFC Xolos.
De nada. Ahí está.
I mean, props to Procrastinating Puma for coming up with that. Like, that's great. I really like that.
I'm down for that.
De general.
Francisco, I mean, obviously you're doing a lot of work with SDFC with everything that's coming on down. So, what's something that people can look forward to, and where can they find you and all your stuff before we let you go? And is there anything else that you want to mention about the actual event? Let's anything that stand out for you from the actual event?
I mean, how was it?
Because I know somebody that has a gripe with you, and we've been mentioning it this whole time. SDFC global headquarters. I don't know if our pal wants to. Okay.
I do want to know what Francisco thinks about Kevin De Bruyne, because you're a Man City fan, right?
Yeah.
So what do you think? Like, do you think he is leaving Man City at the end of the season? Could he come to SDFC, or what do you think about that?
Nah, like he's still really, really good. Like for the Premier League, like he had some injury stuff this season, but he was still one of the best players without a doubt. I mean, Phil Foden was the best player, right, for City, but De Bruyne still one of the best midfielders in the world, and it could be like one of those cases, like maybe like Philip Lahm, who decides to retire early, or Bombastin or something like that. But like I don't see him moving to MLS next year though. Like maybe in a couple of years, but like next year, I just really don't see it.
Who do you, out of the people that have been like rumored of coming to SDFC, who do you think you would most want here? Not most likely, but who do you think you'd most want?
Want Kevin De Bruyne, but it's not like it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Out of the other ones, honestly, Ramos, he's a legend.
Mhm.
Like for the team, I don't think it would be like that crazy of a sign. Like that one seems like possible, like doable, and I think it would be nice for him to be like the first team captain and everything. Natural born leader. I really like that move.
Yeah, I think Ramos is more at a point in his career where it's more believable for him to come to MLS than Kevin De Bruyne. Kevin De Bruyne is just off. You're still in Premier Leagues. You're still competing for Champions Leagues. Like, there's no way you're coming to MLS at this level, even if you're already, what is he, 34, I think?
He's barely going to turn 33 in June.
There you go. So, yeah, no, the way a lot of these players are playing, look at Luka Modric. 40 already. He's going to stay at Real Madrid. Like, I can see Kevin De Bruyne staying and extending his contract at City for another 2 years, if anything.
They don't have to play the best. Like, I think of Andrea Pirlo. He was at a different point in his career, but like we all thought he's gonna come in, he's gonna just and like you look, he walked everywhere. He had some good plays here and there, but it wasn't revolutionary.
Yeah,
it wasn't an immediate impact. Like, oh, okay, that's a different gear. Like, you can tell when players are a different gear. I forget his name. He played for Xolos and he's playing in Romero Manso right now. He had a triple hat trick in a 15-0 effort. Un vato que jugaba con Xolos está jugando de tercera división, just in third division. Yeah, I'll send the article at some point. Yeah, no, and he had this last week had a triple hat trick. Like,
is he Mexican or foreigner?
¿Cómo se llama?
But is he like South American or is he Mexican?
Dairo Moreno, not Benedetto, Riascos.
I just followed him on. I'll send it to you guys. It's just fun.
I'm very curious on that one. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, you see it with Messi. It's men against children at a point.
Yeah.
It's just a different level, a different gear.
It's so funny with Messi, right? Because you see the Argentina call up for the Copa America, well, the professional one, and he's the only like Inter Miami. Everyone else is like like in the team in Argentina or in Conmebol or in Europe, top level teams, and then Inter Miami. Like, I think it's funny. I mean,
City, Liverpool, like Real Madrid, or no, not Real Madrid, but whatever. All those big teams and Inter Miami.
Miami. Like, I mean, MLS will own that they have a Ballon d'Or winner, and I mean, it is what it is, right? Those are the facts. But yeah, I don't think Kevin De Bruyne comes. I don't think Chucky Lozano, maybe. I believe it, but I mean, that's still, I don't think it's the best move for Chucky, but I mean, money talks.
Yes, it's terrible for Chucky. Terrible, like, especially with the World Cup coming up. But for SDFC, like, I don't think people realize like how good he could actually be.
Oh
in
yeah,
MLS.
100%.
Like, he would destroy the league.
He'd be the best non-Messi player to join, unless, I mean, depending on Royce. I don't know.
So I saw a tweet by someone, Manuel Beff. He covers German soccer. He said that the Charlotte Royce thing is unlikely.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, there's always truth to any of these rumors. From what I know and what I've gathered is that some of these new rumors and names, and this is from a credible source, is that like there's truth, like there's been connection. But something that's definitely been happening is that because Messi came in and just on how much money he's going to get paid, everybody else, every strong European international that wants to move to MLS is asking for these huge amounts, just huge amounts. And so that's definitely a point of conversation where it's like, well, is that yes, that's the Messi effect, but you're not going to get paid like a Messi or anywhere near in that stratosphere, even if you are Royce, even if you are Modric, even if you are
like even Jordi Alba and Busquets don't get paid near what Messi's getting paid. So I think it's just these players also trying to kind of like bamboozle these teams and just try to get more money out of them for sure.
Yeah, no, 100%.
And I mean, why wouldn't you, right? I mean,
that's the name of the game.
Like, Exactly. So I mean, you're literally arguing for your paycheck there. So yeah, the rumors are fun. I love them. I know you hate them, but I love the rumors. I love when
Oh, I think they just
Oh.
cut out. All right. Well, then we'll just hold the podcast. You know, my thing with the rumors, Francisco, is that like there's a new rumor like basically every week, and it at this point it feels like just negotiations that we're watching in real time.
Yeah.
Like
No, 100%. Like,
Chucky Lozano goes and tells ESPN Netherlands like, well, I don't know if I want to go to MLS. I'd rather go to Liga MX. And like now looking back on that now, it's like, oh, that was a negotiating tactic. Now he's just trying to strong arm SDFC out for more money, which like good on you. It's negotiating, but it's at this point, it's the reporting of it all is just starting to stress me out. Like,
tranquilo, viejo. Estás vivo, no te
It's good, and it's gonna increment as the weeks go by too.
yeah, it is going to be crazier right now because
Yeah.
the season's ending. June 1st is coming up. Like, we're going to see some crazy rumors.
this is literally what's happening. Maybe not with Ancelotti.
That's literally what it is.
Maybe not with Ancelotti and Ronaldo. But we are literally watching this play out and just waiting. And that's pause until somebody makes a move and you either accept or end negotiations. Essentially what's going on. The good question.
And
Yes.
With all these players, also the competition with Saudi too, with that money.
Yeah. No,
100%.
100%. Like,
Yeah.
and in a European sense, the Europeans like to go into Dubai, to that area of the
Yeah.
world. It's closer and they like vacationing there.
And they
So
can
why
actually
not?
pay what you want.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Well,
supposedly part of the De Bruyne rumor was that he prefers the U.S. to Saudi or something. Like, it's
Yeah.
like
and he's
Like,
he's
wow,
been here.
I just laughed because whoever posts this is like, oh wow, you asked them or what?
yeah.
Like, I mean, it's this when those comments are like, oh, he prefers this over this. I mean, you asked him, you know him, you
Good,
texted him.
good point. 619 soccer. Imagine managers were the main ones negotiating in real life, just like you saw in FIFA. Well,
Yeah,
that's a problem because SDFC doesn't have a manager, nor do
Yeah.
they have a
or
sporting director. So,
or
like,
anyone who's negotiating this. Is it Tom
I mean, even the sporting director news was kind of crazy. Like, it seemed like Carlos Armenia was like a done deal,
Sure.
basically.
Yeah.
Like, but I
mean,
mean,
no.
when you're with Monaco and I think they qualified for Champions League at the end of this season too. Like, now he has the opportunity to go win Champions League, which is like probably a bigger step up than MLS. So now, like, why would you come to MLS at this point? It's nuts. Like, how long is it going to take for them to find a sporting director? Are they even going to need one with all these right to dream
Yeah,
people who
exactly.
are like working behind the scenes right now? But I mean, it's crazy.
a good thing here again. Will the Liga MX fans or Mexican or MX fans pay attention to follow SDFC if Chucky is here?
No.
No.
no,
No.
I don't know how many
No.
people were paying attention to LAFC with Vela there.
It'll
Like-
be on like Esto, Diario Record. Oh, Chucky scored, and like nobody cares. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's gonna be far. I mean, if anything, the only ones that will care are the actual SDFC fans.
yeah.
There's any
Yeah,
other like Mexican fan that's living in LA, they won't pay attention to SDFC. Any
Bro, they
Mexican
got Lloris and Giroud. Like, they're
yeah,
fine.
like, yeah. So
Buanga.
if
They're
you're asking
yeah,
about
Varan too.
fans living in San Diego, yes,
Varan.
they'll for sure tune in more with Chucky here, and they'll probably end up going to more games for sure.
Oh
but-
yeah. Locally, like it'll make a big wave, like for sure. No pun intended. No pun intended. But
I know.
But the
yeah,
fans
no,
more
like
than
that.
anything,
Chucky, yeah, he'll sell tickets, a lot of tickets for sure.
Bro, Chucky. No, pinche equipazo, güey. I made a you saw this, Francisco. I made a Rumor FC. People got upset because Jaden Shaw was
Jaden Shaw.
sorry.
there's no left
There's
mid
no
that's,
left mid
like,
that's being
rumored so
rumored,
far.
right? So I mean that team was actually pretty strong. Like if you know how to play in a 3-5-2 formation, you'll get it done. But yeah, it's fun right now. Nothing necessarily solid as those things come through. Again, because we can sit here and we will as the team comes together, really analyze Invartsen, really who's getting starts. Yeppe, the other player for
Duran.
FC Northland is playing. They're contributing to goals. They're being positive. They were in third place recently
I think Tom
in their
Penn
league.
said that those are going to be like their veteran players, the players
Yeah.
with experience.
And we'll hear
so-
from Tom Penn here in a bit, but that's what we have now. Duran Ferry and two people who are in Denmark. So interesting times, interesting things. Francisco, where can people find you? Where do you want to direct people? I have the utmost respect for what you do. The fact that you rebuilt a TikTok to the amount of followers that you had and the glory days, and it's not easy to do it once, but you've done it twice. And for those who don't know, obviously Francisco is a mega TikTok
You don't
Liga
follow him,
MX
follow
soccer
him.
star. But yeah, anything else, Francisco, from you?
No, I appreciate it. I appreciate it being on here, and appreciate what you guys do in the soccer community here as well. Always good seeing you in the press box. But yeah, you guys can follow me on TikTok. It's Velasco, my last name, JR Football. Content in Spanish usually. Once in a while, so an English video on there, or local videos too. Like I made a video about the event at between Xolos and SDFC. You guys can also check out my articles because I write as well at eastvillagetimes.com. I've been there for 7 years now. But yeah, write about Xolos there in English, so you can check out those articles as well.
Absolutely. And one last thing. You might be right about Alex Morgan. This team needs her. The team needs her. And you're an Alex Morgan truther, and I'll give you that. The San Diego Wave side needs a little AM13 in its squad. But other than that, she's kind of I don't know. Francisco, thank you for your time. We'll definitely have you back on.
Wait, was there something about the global headquarters? Isn't that why you guys brought me
Well,
on?
yeah,
What
that's
was
what I
this?
set you up for, but you decided to
Ask about Kevin De Bruyne.
all right,
Okay.
go for it.
Just why is it called the global headquarters if there's one headquarters right now?
Oh, and then apparently, Esteban, the guy you brought on last week.
Yeah, that's what's Toscano.
Yeah, because I made a video about it. He commented on the Instagram. He's like, they're only on the third floor.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like it's only the third floor. The space that we were in is the patio area you can rent out for parties like that.
Yeah. I was not aware of that until after.
Our homies.
So thanks Esteban for the info, but and then my video was like, this is a SDFC.
Look at this. SDFC owns all of it.
Hey,
Yeah, literally.
it makes you think that way with downtown and Little Italy, those offices and buildings, like so many businesses within one building. So it is confusing.
That's the man in the house saying, "Gotcha." No, I mean
Those $500 million. You only bought a third floor? No, cómprate un edificio.
First of all, renting. Second of all, the amount of money that they must pay for that or paid for that would take all 4, 5, 6, 7, 12, 111, as we're seeing here, people watching concurrently on 3 live streams. It would take us all out of poverty and never have to worry about bills again. But at the end of the day, it's the global headquarters, and Abe doesn't agree with that.
Okay, it's the same issue with the soccer specific thing. Like, how can you be global? And also, like, headquarters. I feel like there should be one headquarters in like all, because it's the head of like whatever, right? So you should only call one something. It's a whole thing. Like there's always an issue in journalism where it's like you can't call something the inaugural anything or the annual anything until there's been 2, because until there's been 2, then it's like, okay, that one was the inaugural one, and then everything after that exists, So you can't start something and say, oh, we're gonna have an annual festival, right? Like you can't say we're gonna have annual friendlies until they actually happen. So even technically right now, like there's no annual friendlies until they all happen. So it's just weird semantic stuff. None of this matters. Like I'm sure SDFC's global headquarters is fun. My global headquarters that I'm in right now is a lot of nice. It's really nice out here.
I mean, you're in studio somehow, yet you're not. Like the effects and the budget of 2 balls and a mic and San Diego Punto Football
In the
are
millions.
some sort of currency, not pesos or dollars. I'll tell you that much right now. But yeah,
Going in ganas.
there's a lot of great things happening with SDFC. I really appreciate you coming on, Francisco, and
yeah,
global specific headquarters.
It's a blue.
Oh my god.
Goals, gaffes, and greats. That's the grade of the week.
Shout out to the office. We know they're watching.
Great. Yeah, apparently it
Yeah,
happens.
apparently
Apparently it
so.
happens, and people. So
No se nos
we'll get into it
Pura,
right now.
pura.
But Francisco, again, thank you, sir, for coming on. I know you tune in sometimes and get on here, so I really appreciate you engaging and being part of the community. Let's do it again.
Thank you guys. See you again
Later,
soon.
Francisco.
Shout out Francisco.
That's
I
enough.
won't call it the global
No,
headquarters until they.
Bye. What?
I won't call it the global headquarters until they have a headquarters outside of the U.S. Then it can technically, I guess, be called the global headquarters.
It's not
But-
untrue. What? It's not untrue. Global headquarters is not untrue. And yes, I am arduously defending SDFC for some reason here, but there's it's not an untrue statement. In the globe, there is one headquarters. Technically speaking, the inside of that Toyota Tundra, where it drives around the Chrome Ball, if not the Chrome Ball itself, can be a sort of domicile / container for human life for a bit. Therefore, a mobile headquarters, ergo, the global headquarters is the main one. I don't know. I'm stretching. It's HQ.
The store can be a
Right to Dream
headquarters?
HQs. Head.
Yeah,
But-
but that's right to dream. That's
But
different.
that's Right to Dream.
And
Yeah.
I mean, the Saquon Academy, is that technically that's a Right to Dream Academy? Is that an SDFC Academy? I think it's a Right to Dream Academy
I
technically.
believe so. Yes. It is Right to Dream.
Like they're a part of Right to Dream, but are they owned by Right to Dream? Do they you know what? I retract all my
The
arguments.
conversations,
I need to get
the conversations we need to have because there's
I'm gonna
no fucking
for-
soccer happening. still.
100%. These are dumb conversations because again, like, hey,
Once there's a
Chuki's
ball
coming,
rolling-
Chuki's not coming, this is
Yeah.
happening. Hey, I heard this, I heard that. Hey, you shouldn't say this. Hey, what do you mean? I heard it from here, but it turned out to be true. Hey, well, I don't know.
I
Cool.
really want to hear from Tom Penn to see what he has to say because I know you gave me a little sneak peek of some clips and some of those
Clippity
things he
clips.
said were very interesting.
They were very interesting. So, look, without further ado, let's hear from CEO of San Diego Football Club, SDFC chief, the highest ranking position in SDFC's global headquarters, probably the biggest office. Tom Penn.
You think of a starting 11, somewhere in our mix there will be players I think that are from Mexico. And then we're going to have a combination of young talent that's ascending and on the rise and, looking to make their mark. We'll have a mix of veterans that are experienced. The two players we've signed from Denmark, for example, are very experienced and position-oriented players. They know the system, and they'll be just rock solid. And then we're looking for the splash, for the sizzle, for the star. And that's where our energy is right now.
All the rumors on social media.
All right. So right there is kind of obviously the rehash of what we know of what's going to happen with SDFC and what we know is going to be the DNA of this team, right? It's going to be a young team. It's going to have some here and there, and the splash, the sizzle, the main course is coming, and it's going to be a part of this team overall, surrounded by veterans. And I think, in speaking about the Mexican aspect of this partnership, it goes both ways, right? Like relationship wise with Xolos, relationship wise with just the Mexican consulate or whatever in their global headquarters, but they are really making sure that they're being inclusive and mindful of the Mexican community, the Mexican fan base, the Mexican dollar, the Mexican everything into consideration. So does that mean that, there's going to be a Mexican here in the form of Edwin Lozano? Obviously, Ochoa's kind of put to the side. Is there somebody else out there? But this is just a resetting of what SDFC is looking at right now. And it hasn't been different since the first time we spoke to Tom Penn. He said this is going to be a team that's going to be built this way. It's going to have the youth, the academy. It's going to be sprinkled with some veteran talent and everything, but nothing necessarily different, right? Am I hearing this wrong, Abe, Chivo?
Yeah, that's about right. I think the most interesting things that came out, not to skip ahead, but Jorge Alberto Hank talking about, you could go to a Xolos match on Friday night and then you can go to a SDFC match on Saturday night. Like, would they see like promotion? Like, I think Tom Penn even said like that could be a potential like commercial opportunity for them. And like, I mean, that would be pretty cool. Like you buy a ticket, you buy a package and you get a ticket to a SDFC game and a Xolos game. Like that would be something that I think really cool, benefits both teams. Like might happen, probably not. I mean, what about San Diego Wave? Why not buy a ticket to go to a Xolos match Friday?
Because there has to be a relationship there.
Yeah, I know, but
Those are great ideas, and I think it would be something that will bring in a lot of fans that are support Liga MX.
What am I doing?
And
Tony, stop.
what? Oh,
Lads,
lads.
Xolos, Cholo Pass, Cholo Pasaporte. Dual ticket.
okay.
No?
I
All
kinda
right.
get it.
Like,
Fuck
like,
off.
like a season
Give me some
credential
money.
for like a season.
Yeah, but
ticket
that's what
for
you call
both.
it. Cholo Pasaporte, right?
Solo
Like,
pasaporte.
That could work.
It's okay.
you ain't ready for Wave v Cholos Friday Night Wars. That'll be interesting. All right, let's hear a little bit more from CEO Tom Penn.
Chuti and Ochoa. Can you stop the rumors now?
I can't. Which one would you want?
Classic move.
That's classic. Tom Penn.
Classic Tom.
He did that during the press conference.
He did it during the
Mhm.
press conference. He did it to us.
Yeah.
He did it
Which
to
one
a
would you
couple
want?
of.
He it's his classic PR move. I
Classic.
love it, Tom.
It's a good
love
move.
it.
It's a good move.
Answer the person's question with the question, and then they answer their own question. Love it.
Perfect.
You know, we're new. We're brand new. We're very respectful of what's already here. And Xolos has been here, and they're well established, and they mean something to the market. You know, the Wave have been here for now several years, and they mean something to the market. We want to be additive to the local community, and we want to elevate the men's game to the next level here.
Okay, I'm gonna say something
Uh-oh.
also real quick. Like, yes, there's this partnership, and
Ruh-roh.
Xolos can mean something. Let's also not forget, Xolos is an embarrassment of a club in Liga MX right now. Only won one game last season. Don't forget who Xolos also is. It's a terrible team in Liga MX right now. So, I mean, yes, this is exciting. This is cool. Estado Caliente doesn't get nearly half full anymore. Yes, it's cool going out and it's good to drink and stuff, but people don't go to watch quality soccer there anymore.
Yeah, they go as a stop
They
to
play.
Michelin
They're the
recommended.
only team
tacos
in
and
Liga
fries
MX to play on a turf field
that they're redoing.
that they're redoing to see how it turns out. They're still not done remodeling the Estadio Caliente, and it's been years.
No, the health hazards of just walking around that stadium are
Which
incredible.
also is the reason why they're probably not having friendlies over there.
Good point.
And again, it's a team that has just not won anything, changes coach season after season, sells players in and out, that has not played anything in the last couple years.
Well, I have a line that he's like, well, Abe's like, well, that's not wrong.
Yeah.
We might, and we're working on getting an interview with Jorge Hank.
Just kidding. También
just-
vergas.
just wanted to
Xolos.
throw. Just
¿Dónde están perros?
well,
Valen verga.
también las Chivas. No,
No, ya sé,
Copa América.
ya sé.
Can SDFC and pull a Xolos fan over here then? I mean, the crossover is going to be interesting. This is, and again, they stress this very much. It's a first step. This is all a first step into something. They almost seem
Xolos
like
fans
they
can't
didn't.
cross.
Well, some of them, or they can, but just can't come back. Unfortunately, that's the reality of our area in La Frontera. Tranquilos,
but
hermanos.
some Xolos fans from TJ can't cross.
Oh
Over
yeah,
here,
no,
too,
yeah,
there, so-
100%. But all right, there's more from Tom Penn, and also cool redaction, making sure that his team is bringing top flight men's soccer into San Diego. Make sure he didn't do that again. Good job.
We want to elevate youth development everywhere. So we want to come just add value. Chairman Martinez from Sequan was all about how do we do something impactful for this whole region. It wasn't about winning football matches. That helps, and we're going to want that. But he wanted to make a difference in this community that he loves so much.
Cody Martinez, who didn't get a word in or a question directed his way.
¿Pa' qué fue, güey?
So, okay.
¿Pa' qué fue ese vato?
So,
I mean, Cody Martinez had one of the cooler inputs, I think that's really interesting. I mean, Kumeyaay people were here before the border was, and like
100%.
True.
And in the press conference, I somehow got the honor of kicking things off with the first question, and there was a awkward silence where like nobody wanted to follow it up, and nobody wanted to ask the first one. So I was like, okay, cool, ask the question. But I think as things were rolling, a lot of questions were going to Kang, some to Tom Penn. But the question, and this will be the question that eventually I'll end up asking, is just like what the like. Obviously, with the Siquan tribe, the Kumeyaay people, with Cody Martinez, that's a big part of the community movement and the reasoning. Look, as he was saying, this is a modern border. It's not old. It's been here for a while. Hasn't been here for a while, but the people have been here forever. So those indigenous tribes from Tijuana, like indigenous people, are they going to reach out? Is Siquan going to do that? Is there going to be efforts on both sides of the border from Siquan? Like that would be really cool to also bridge that indigenous peoples gap, because guess what? Indigenous people in Mexico are not treated well at all. They don't have sovereign land like the U.S. I want to say give, but just corralled them into. Unfortunately, Trail of Tears. Look it up. This is a different podcast, but
that beats my question.
But yeah, like those are different things. But eventually, I got overtaken.
That really does beat my question, Tony.
All right,
Cody Martinez.
What was your question to Cody Martinez?
Hey man, could you tell me hook it up with a couple blackjacks when I go? When I go.
Ideas that are still coming up are around the collaboration with youth development and how we can exchange in such a way that it's not competitive, it's additive, so that the best kids in this whole region stay here and achieve their dreams.
And now I think that was
Beautiful.
the motif of the entire event, is just, but think of the children. The children will benefit. The future is bright in this area, Tijuana, San Diego. Everybody can choose however they want to go. But I think at the end of the day, for what was spoken, that the community, the children, the younglings are going to have an opportunity to stay in the region and share that talent cross borders. What that relationship is going to look like, I don't know. It's going to be interesting whenever somebody comes up from the area and it's like, well, we call dibs. Like, is that a thing? Like, we're just going to call dibs on players. Any other takeaways, Abe, from any and all of this?
I mean, getting to start it all off at a blackjack table in Vegas, that's like I wish I was there to ask more about that part of the story, because like they both are kind of have their bases in casinos, I guess, technically. So like, how does that work? Like, is that like, do they have special places at the casinos because technically they own casinos? Like, there's so many different weird things about that.
They were at the high rollers. High roller rooms are very small.
Abe, we're gonna put you away because your camera, it's on the fritz. But yeah, no, I agree. It's gonna be very interesting. The dynamic's gonna happen, and we're ready to cover it. We are gonna go ahead and reach out, and I already spoke to the people that make it happen, to have those conversations with Xolos as well. And what does this mean? What do they see? Why were they the first ones? Why did they want to go and do this? Why did you have to extend the hand? Why wasn't SDFC the one to first offer this up? Were they too busy with their own things? Like, there's just a bunch of different dynamics and get things from their perspective.
Xolos is a business, and they're good at making business happen. So
when you think about profits for a club, development of the youth is one channel for revenue, 100%. I see this more as a play to solidify a siphon of youth from TJ to and pay Xolos a small fee. That can definitely be it. On a revenue standpoint, it makes sense that money flows from either US to Mexico, to TJ, from SDFC to Xolos, whatever the benefit here monetarily.
Xolos saw this as a sign for dollar signs.
It can definitely be that, and it's a money play. But again, bottom line, this is a bottom line business. It's a bottom line situation.
But you can revenue the dollars without soccer happening, and that's exactly how they have to start. They have to have soccer happening at Snapdragon, and that's what we're all here to watch: soccer happen.
Oh my god, it needs to get here.
Man,
it was very interesting. Just some overall commentary on it. Beautiful office, beautiful installations. Again, it was great. Unlimited beverages, unlimited tacos. I can't have any of that because I haven't eaten solid food in over a month.
Hey, you're looking good.
Sorry, it's a disease. No, it's got me.
Oh.
No, but that was cool view. I did have a great conversation with one of our listeners, Jeremy Bridget, who is somebody who met his lovely wife, his family, met a family friend there of his, and just had a good old conversation about the area and just this overall project. What I'll mention, and this is something that I promised somebody that I would definitely speak on, because we have been critical. We have been talking directly to the about the club to the club sometimes about the club, in a manner that may not really rub the right people the right way, wrong people. There's no wrong people there. I at least I don't have the interactions to define anybody as the wrong person. Um, but something overall, it's just in the mixer mingling things that's been said, and I take it to and I understand it to be, is that something that this team on the front office sense is, which is where everything starts. That's being said, is that this doesn't feel like anywhere else in the MLS that they've worked at. And this is coming from people who have worked at different MLS teams or different soccer institutions or different sporting sort of scenarios and setups. And like, this is somewhere where people like to work. People like to work at SDFC, and again, maybe that's just still rose paint rose tinted glasses in a honeymoon phase. At some point, it's everybody's job.
Everyone
Like,
loves their job.
everybody loves their
when
job
they first hop on.
but even then, like, it's really positive seeing and hearing that within
That's a
the
good thing.
office dynamic, and the people who are in there, that they're enjoying things, and they're saying that they haven't seen this anywhere else, or this sort of structure, this sort of feeling of being positive,
That's how
and
unique
how
San
they
Diego
like it,
is.
the uniqueness of San Diego. But again, and this is something that it just kind of perked my ear, because the only time I've heard that, and a lot, was when people came to San Diego Loyal, that this is different, that this feels different, and this is a different atmosphere, this is a different team, like, it just feels different in a positive manner. And so for anything and everything that can be said about this team, that can be said about how it was, how it comes about, with the lack of anything, or just
Yeah.
anything critical at the end of the day, to hear that, and just kind of that resonated with me. That's good to hear, because you see people from the community being represented, you see people coming from other places representing San Diego, like it or not, they're going to be the ones representing, putting
Yeah,
the name of San Diego up.
There's not a
They're good.
higher tier soccer league to bring these people out of a job. So
Yeah, no,
they're safe.
100%. And just like overall, it was interesting, just because, like, again, having conversations with different people, saying hi, shaking hands, kissing babies. Whenever I got there and just kind of set up, got my chair situated, like, okay, I'm gonna be here, it's gonna be cool. Like, I'm gonna blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna get myself my little reserve. That's what I went to get.
That's where you went.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Reserved. That's the stupidest
Yeah,
show
you
ever.
love this show.
A lot of our pals that we've come through this journey of 4 years, we've met and have relationships with Xolos.
Oh, Mikey.
Hey,
Everybody.
Hey,
Sure can. He's a very popular guy.
Tranquilo. But it was commented to me several times by different people of like, hey, like, we all noticed that, like, the Xolos people came up to you and said, hey, get on that. And we just kept like, who? Like,
Well, you
what?
worked
Like,
for them.
Yes, technically I did.
Yeah.
And then, like, they started putting together, like, oh, maybe Tony does know things. Just get tell things. I'm like, well, sure. It was very good seeing some people that we've been on this adventure with for a while, and on their own personal adventure through soccer and everything, just kind of grow through the game, through the sport. And things are coming together. Like, when I see that exactly intermingling of different people, like, it's like, oh, that's cool. Like, I met you at Torero once. Oh, I met you at this event. Like, oh, okay, cool. And everybody's a big old happy family. So great event at the patio area and seating area for the building where the global headquarters occupy floor in, the most technologically advanced elevators that I've ever seen. But that's, there's no
There's
you
money in little LA.
no, you put like an iPad, you put outside of the elevator, it's not like an up or down, you just put the floor that you want to go to. Bing, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever. Bing, the elevator comes, you get in, there's no buttons inside because you pre-chose what you pre-chose where you want to go. So once it opens, once it's there, if it gets stuck, you're screwed. There's no button. I mean, there's the emergency buttons, but it's like you
Damn
press
it,
the wrong
I
button.
didn't want to go to floor 5.
Yeah,
Let me get out and
exactly.
pick floor 2.
But it's cool. Again, shout out to the great conversations out there, and that's the part that I really enjoy, really like. At the end of the day, and I think that we're kind of on this path now where people are coming over and really paying attention to what we're doing on a SD.Football, San Diego.Football setting, and like everybody can get theirs. There's enough pieces of the pie for everybody. It's really fun. We're gonna keep working. We're gonna keep coming together, bringing you SDFC news, SDFC topics, SDFC, San Diego.Football, San Diego soccer, San Diego everything. Because we have for the past couple years. Jeremy saying, much appreciated saying you that. My wife and I had a best night with you talking SD soccer. Yeah, I can talk about it was proven I could talk about anything to anybody.
Yeah, you can.
For a while.
Yeah,
for
you
a
can.
while.
I've heard you for 4 years.
I closed the rooftop down and look forward to doing that again. 100%. Let's do it again. Great conversation, great times. Chiva, anything else with all of this, sir?
No, I think that's it. Chingue su madre, la América, estoy bien triste. Pinche Chiva. Odio el fútbol y pues me voy a retirar.
You can find everything that we do over with Abe's fantastic work on San Diego.Football. Yes, that is San Diego.Football. Not .com, .football. We're going to go ahead and bring back the beautiful game next week. Goals, gaffs, and greats. The gaff was going to be pinche árbitro, a referee in the Netherlands. Did you see this?
I think so.
In the second division that was celebrating with the team that he helped. Yeah. Wild.
I love that.
Thank you, Francisco Velasco, for joining us. Thank you for Amy from the San Diego Sirens for the Call of the Sirens. Thank you to Abe Cepeda. Thank you for everybody who's been joining us on Instagram, Twitter, and everywhere else. You are awesome. 619 Soccer. Yes, had 3 triplete. Chicha tronco. That's enough of that. See you guys later.
Have a good night.
Bye. Bye.